Hello and welcome to Joe Marquis Wagers. Today is Sunday, September 22nd, 2024. This video is a breakdown of the Sunday Week 3 NFL games. I have one wager on each game today. There are 7 games in the morning slate and 5 games in the afternoon slate, so we have a 12-pack of wagers today. Here's a rundown of the morning games. The Packers are at the Titans, and the Titans are actually favored by 3 points. Total is low at 38.5. I was surprised to see the Titans favored in this game. There's a good chance Jordan Love plays in this one. And even if he doesn't, Malik Willis looked decent last week. Better than Will Levis has looked anyway. Just to get past the key number, I took an alternate line of Green Bay plus 3.5. But I may drop a couple of bucks on the Packers money line as well. The Texans are a surprising 2-0 at the Vikings. Texans are favored by 2, and the game total has been set at 46.5. The Vikings gave up over 400 yards last week, including 100 rushing yards to Jordan Mason, but only 17 points. Mixon is doubtful, and second string back Dameon Pierce has been ruled out of this one. Enter Cam Akers. He has been a lead back before with his time with the Rams. I have played him to exceed his rushing yards prop of 58.5. The Bears are playing the Colts in Indy. The Colts are favored by 1, and the game total has been set at 43.5. Unless you are a fan of one of these teams, this one holds very little interest. Both teams have young QBs who are still trying to figure out the NFL. Caleb Williams has ended up running the ball 5 times in each of his previous 2 games. I think this trend will continue. I have played Caleb to exceed his rushing yards prop of 20.5. Malik Willis rushed for 41 against the Colts last week. The Giants are at the Browns. The Browns are favored by 6.5, and the game total has been set at 38.5. The Browns' defense has been a little inconsistent so far this year, but last year their defense at home was elite. The Giants' offense is horrible. The only skilled offensive player is rookie Malik Nabers. I played the Giants to go under their team total of 14.5 points. The Eagles are at the surprising 2-0 Saints. Saints are favored by 2.5, and the game total has been set at 49.5. The Saints have looked dominant in all facets of the game through 2 games. The Eagles let a win slip through their fingers last week. Pun intended. Kamara looks like McCaffrey through his first 2 games as he has logged over 100 scrimmage yards in both games. The Eagles gave up 122 scrimmage yards last week to Bijan Robinson. I played Kamara to exceed his combined rushing and receiving yards of 105.5. The Chargers are at the Steelers. The Steelers are favored by 3, and the game total is set at 34.5. Last week, the Steelers ran the ball 36 times. The Chargers ran the ball 44 times. Barring overtime, this will be the first game to go final. I thought about playing the Chargers to exceed their rush attempts prop of 27.5, but I just don't know how many opportunities they will get with the Steelers also focusing on running the ball. Instead, I went with the Chargers to exceed their team rushing yards prop of 116.5. Dobbins alone has exceeded this number in both of their games. The Broncos are at the Bucks. The Bucks are favored by 6, and the game total has been set at 41.5. I think I found a sneaky one in this game. Baker Mayfield rushed for 34 yards against the Lions. He rushed for 21 against the Commanders. I found his rushing prop on Bet365 at just 9.5 rushing yards. Yeah, I played it. I would also take a look at the Knicks interception prop. He is averaging 2 picks a game right now. Made a little bit of money when I played him to get 2 interceptions last week. If you parlay all 7 of these morning games, you can get it at plus 6,274 on Bet365. Here's a rundown of the afternoon games. The Dolphins are visiting my Seahawks. Seahawks are favored by 4.5, and the game total has been set at 41.5. I can admit my team has been lucky with the schedule so far. They got Denver and a rookie QB in week 1. They managed to beat the Patriots in overtime last week, and now they have the Dolphins at home without Tua. The look-ahead line actually had the Dolphins favored in this one before Tua was injured. I would have preferred this under 3, but I took the Seahawks at minus 4.5. We need to pick up these wins while we can. The Panthers are in Vegas this week. The Raiders are favored by 6, and the game total has been set at 39.5. The Panthers benched their young QB and gave the keys to veteran Andy Dalton. The line actually moved in favor of the Panthers following this news. Before the benching, the Raiders were favored by 7.5. I lean towards the Raiders covering the 6, but I went with the prop bet on this one instead. The Raiders ran the ball a ton last year when Antonio Pierce took over. They have completely flipped the script now that they have Minshew at QB. Their rookie tight end had 6 receptions in week 1 and 9 last week. I played him to exceed his reception prop of just 4.5. This number seems very low considering they are facing the Panthers. The 0-2 Ravens are at the 1-1 Cowboys. The Ravens are favored by 1, and the game total has been set at 47.5. Both of these teams are in need of a win, the Ravens especially so. I think the desperate Ravens win this one, and I played them on the money line. The Saints provided the blueprint last week on how to beat the Cowboys. The Dallas defense is designed to play with the lead. Their D-line is on the lighter side, but they are quick and excellent at rushing the QB. This makes them susceptible to the power run game. This should be a Derrick Henry game for the Ravens. I also went ahead and dropped a couple of bucks on an alternate line of the Ravens minus 6.5. There is a chance they run away with this one. The Niners are visiting division rival Rams. The Niners are favored by 6.5, and the game total has been set at 43.5. This game has lost some luster. The Rams are without their top 2 receivers. Debo has been ruled out for the Niners, and Kittle is doubtful. I lean towards the Rams covering in this one, but I went with a prop bet instead. With Debo out and Kittle likely out, there are going to be a lot of opportunities for Juwan Jennings. He had 5 receptions in week 1 and 2 last week. I played him to exceed his reception prop of 3.5. The Lions are at the Cardinals. The Lions are favored by 3, and the game total has been set at 51.5. The Lions lost a surprising one last week at home against the Bucs. The Cardinals looked very good against the depleted Rams. I lean towards the Cardinals covering the 3 points at home, but instead I played the Cardinals to exceed their team total of 24.5. Their offense has looked great through 2 weeks. They put up 28 against Buffalo and 41 against the Rams. If you parlay these 5 afternoon wagers, they come in at plus 2180 on DraftKings. If you wanted to play all 12 of these in a parlay, it came in at plus 139,097 on Bet365. My next video will be out later today to preview the Sunday night football game between the Chiefs and the Falcons. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, Joe Marquis Wagers. If you have already subscribed, thank you, and please share my channel on all of your social media platforms. Good luck on all of your wagers, and remember, when it comes to wagering, there is no such thing as a lock. There are only logical, well-reasoned wagers with good value.